Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is yours truly, Mario Florima, and I went ahead and created a slideshow kind of flow chart for you guys. Okay, this is basically just giving you a quick breakdown guideline flow chart. I would like to say on how to upstart your prep school the right way. Okay, now let me move this over here. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go straight into it because this video is meant to be short, sweet, and to the point. Okay. This is the most important takeaway that you have to remember, right? So, this is a mindset audit, I would like to say. Meaning, if you are here, you have some type of formal background in the coaching industry, meaning you're probably either a trainer, you're probably either a very successful high school coach, or even if you're not successful, you're a high school coach, or maybe you have some type of um, coaching experience as far as on the collegiate level. Or maybe you're just somebody who's looking to get into coaching and you need some more experience and this kind of intrigued you. Either way, this is a mindset audit. If you are a trainer, high school coach, or you already coach in the college scene, we all want to get back to that college scene, right? The dream, the goal is to coach at the Division One level and to become a head coach one day and to change lives, right? That's the dream. That's the goal, right? This is just showing you a different alternative to getting to that level or to even opening up your own institution and becoming your own CEO, your own boss, and your own head coach. You're basically creating your own opportunity rather than relying on some university to take a chance on you and give you an opportunity to coach at that level because you know how well you can coach. You know yourself better than anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter what you put on a resume. You know what you can do, what you're capable of if you have the opportunity, right? So why not create your own opportunity rather than wait for somebody else to give you that opportunity, right? With some W-2 job, right? So this is just a mindset audit to just alter your mind and just see, hey, there's a new window. This is a new window. This is a unique window that I can jump through. And if this goes very well, this would help my resume even more to get to the college level. Because now I can say, hey, I created something from the ground up, and this is my resume. Not only are you hiring me as a head coach, I can literally rebuild your program as a head coach on the college level because I have experience of rebuilding programs or building programs from nothing to something. I built my own prep school and I managed to get it to this level. And if I could do that with my own prep school from scratch, what makes you think I can't do that for your program for a simple basketball team? So that's the mindset that I want you guys to have going into all this, okay? And understanding that you you know on the college level they're requiring a lot of things from you right now, which is you need a degree, you need a bachelor's degree, you need experience, you need to know somebody, you need all these things. As opposed to prep school, you don't need none of that. You don't need a degree to start your own prep school. All you need is to know how to talk to students, student athletes, get them to come to your institution and how to manage and operate, right? And coaching is kind of the back end of thing, which is the easiest thing for you, I would imagine. Okay. So with that being said, keep that in the back of your mind. This is the most important thing to take away from all this. And let's just jump right forward into the step-by-step guideline on how to open up your own prep school. So these green boxes on top, these are what I like to call transitional, right? Transitional phases, right? So these are transitionals, right? Underneath them are the white boxes. So for this green box, the steps for this green box will be directly followed underneath them, and so on and so forth. Okay, so just keep that in mind while I'm reading these out and giving you more explanation. Okay, so each box on top, for example, start your prep school business. The first step would be create website, so on and so forth. So again, start your own prep school business. Start your prep school business. The first step you would need to do, of course, is to create a website. That's number one. No parent, no student athlete, nobody's going to trust you without having some type of website situated so they know what they're getting themselves into. Okay, social media is another good thing, good way to start. Even if you have 0 followers or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just have something digitally um, to where it can market your business, it can market your prep school so they know, hey, look, this is somewhat what the prep school is. It's not just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of dirt or anything. It's actual entity. Okay. Um, Create your website. That's step number one. You can do that on Sembla. You can do that on Wix. There's plenty of third party platforms that you can go to jumpstart your website. That's step number one. Number two, you need to open a nonprofit entity and a bank account. All right. For you guys who don't know what a nonprofit entity is, think of LLCs, S corps, nonprofits. There's different entities. In this specific one, a nonprofit is the best use case for for prep schools. Excuse me, because nonprofits do not get taxed. Okay. Now, just to give you a little bit more example on that, in the government's eyes, they look at nonprofits as a charity event, or they look at it as a charity company that is basically raising funds to do charity for people. Now, the tricky part about nonprofits is even though tax obligations or tax wise or to the IRS, it looks like you're raising this money for charity. In reality, you could be raising this money for yourself and for your family, right? You could donate money to charity if you want and do those things of that nature. But this is a great tax break for you. A lot of great people, companies that you're not even aware of is a nonprofit. You're not even like Rolex, the high Rolex, they're nonprofit. A lot of people don't know that. But these major companies, they're aware and they know that as much money as they bring in, they would have a huge tax bill at the end of the year and have to pay Uncle Sam if they don't open their business in some type of entity that can protect their assets, that can protect uh, their money, so they don't have to basically give everything to Uncle Sam, right? So nonprofits, you can open up a nonprofit under LegalZoom. That's a very simple website. Um, you go to LegalZoom and they'll show you step by step on how to open up a nonprofit in your respective state. Okay, it's a very simple, direct process. If you guys want me to create a video on step by step on how to create a nonprofit entity on LegalZoom, go ahead and comment below, like this video, subscribe, and I'll make sure to push out a video like that on my next upcoming videos. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you're going to want to open up a bank account. So once you get your nonprofit, you're going to get something called an EIN. EIN is pretty much the social security of your business, right? So you have a social security number to yourself, to whatever your name is. Like I have one. My name is Mario. I have a social security number. Everybody in this world has a social security number, right? Businesses have their own social security numbers, but they're called EINs. In this specific instance, whatever nonprofit you open up, you're going to get an EIN number. Once you get that EIN number, you're going to take that to any bank of your choosing, and you're going to open up a business account, right? Once you open up a business account, that's where you can receive and basically spend funds made by your business, by your nonprofit, by your prep school. Okay. The next transitional phase is that identify your niche, right? Um, which sport are you picking? Meaning, this is very, very, very important. Now, from us, Level Up Prep, I started with basketball because I played basketball and I'm very familiar with the sport. I'm good at coaching it, things of that nature. For you, it might be softball, it might be baseball, it might be football. Whatever sport you're into, choose one sport to open up your prep school. I say that because if you try to open up 4 or 5 sports at once when you're just now starting, it can get hectic. You're gonna have to, obviously hire more staff right away. You're gonna have to hire different, positional things. You're gonna have to orchestrate a lot of games and things, and it's too much. So my best advice to you is to start off with one sport that you know well, okay, and then go off from there, right? That's very important. You got to know your niche. The second step you want to do is identify if you're recruiting in-state or out-of-state athletes, right? Because there's two different responsibilities that comes with whatever choice that you pick. Meaning, if you recruit out of state, that means you're going to have to get housing. That means you're going to have to worry about meals. If you want to implement meals into your institution, you're going to have to worry about other things. As opposed to if you are recruiting in state, meaning locally, kids around your way, you might not have to worry about things like meals or housing or transportation or things of that nature because they're already local, right? They live with their parents, they have housing, they have meals, and they probably already drive, right? So it's up to you. When I first started, I recruited out of state my first year. I did the whole, housing thing and things of that nature, but that's because I had signed a decent amount of kids at first. I signed about, I think it was like 9 or 10 the first 2 weeks because I already had some clientels. I had a social media following and I had kids that were interested right away. And I had each kid pay me 10 grand for the course of the year. So right off the gates, I had $100,000 that I could play with, right? So that was just my situation. So I went all out. I got a housing. I got recruited, out of state. I did all that. I took the little bit harder route my first year because I had more money to leverage and play with, right? So for you and your, situation, if you want to just stay local, just to test it out and grow that way, there's nothing wrong with it. It's highly recommended, right? So you have to dictate which one you want, out of state or or in state, right? Um, the second transitional phase is to get your school set up, right? This is very, very important. Lock in, guys. Okay, you're going to sign student athletes, of course, and then you're going to set up scholarship documents. Now, this is a very, very easy process as well. It's not as hard as you think, or it may sound. We have a program to where we help new upcoming prep school institutions with our with our scholarship program, meaning that if you open up your prep school and you say, hey, look, we need 10 scholarships. I want to recruit some international kids from UK and things of that nature, then we can help you with that. We can basically loan you some scholarships, and then you can go ahead and recruit your kids out of state. They would just come here under our prep school or under our entity, but obviously they'll be going to you, right? So it's not very it's not hard as it sounds, right? And those scholarships, by the way, are called I-20s, right? So I-20s are basically like it sounds. It's a scholarship for internationals to get into the United States. Now, you don't need I-20s for uh, uh, out of state kids that are in the US, meaning if you're in Kentucky, for example, and you want to recruit a kid who is in Florida to come to Kentucky, you don't need an I-20 scholarship. That's a different type of scholarship that I can, speak to you about on a different video. It's a lot to explain. So I'm not going to go too in depth about that right now. But yeah, it's a very simple process as far as us setting up scholarship documents, and I'll give more examples going forward in my future videos if you guys like this. Okay. Um, the next step is to hire staff. Okay. Hire staff, set up games, classes, and student loans. Okay. So I'm going to break this down step by step. Okay. Hiring staff. You're going to want to know how much teams you're going to have, right? Meaning, if you want to start off with one team, let's say, for example, you want to start off with one basketball team, or if you want to start off with three basketball teams, right? Let's say you have a lot of clientels and you have 30 kids. Each one of them want to pay you 10,000 for the tuition. That's $300,000 for the year. You have some wiggle room to hire some staff. Okay. Um, you obviously you can't coach all three teams. You can't practice with all three teams, right? So you're going to need to outsource the work. You're going to need teachers for classes, right? You're going to need to hire some virtual teachers. I could show you that as well in future videos. That's a little bit more in depth. Um, so hiring staff is very important. How many teams you're going to have? If you're going to have one, then you can just, basically keep that money for yourself and coach that team for yourself. But if you want two or three, you got to think about hiring staff, right? Set up games. That's very, very important. You can schedule against colleges, other prep schools, even high schools if you really want to. You can play whoever you want, ABA teams, whoever you feel like is good competition and good exposure for your kids. You can enter circuits. You can enter a lot of different things, right? That's very, very important. You're going to want to set that up, right? Without games, there's no exposure. Without no exposure, your prep school is what, right? Classes, again, you're going to want to hire teachers, right? You don't need to have a building. You don't need to have a physical premises to where they go into the school and sit down and learn from a teacher. You don't need all that. Everything could be done virtually, online, on their tablet, from the comfort of their home, all right, or the apartment or dorms or whatever you guys have. So don't think too much into that. I'll show you in future videos, or if you like, like this video. I mean, comment below if you want me to make a video on how to do that as well. I'll post that video going forward. And then student loans, right? You're going to want to set up student loans. The reason why you want to set up student loans is because there is going to be athletes who can't afford your tuition. That doesn't mean you have to lower your tuition at all either. Just because you have a kid who's very, very talented who can't afford 10,000 or 15,000 for the school year doesn't mean you have to, bring it down to 2,000 just for him because he's really, really good. Now, you could give him a full ride and say, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. I already have 12 kids that are paying me 10,000. I'm, 120. You can come on a full ride. That's up to you. But if you want to make as much money as possible, and you just want to give yourself an opportunity to maximize financially, adding student loans is the best way, because that way there's no excuse. Any kid who comes up to you and says, "Oh, I don't have the money," well, take out a student loan if you really want this opportunity, right? And I will show you guys basically how to go about that. As far as the documentation goes, you need specific documents to qualify for student loans. But again, we have a program as well at Level Up Prep to where we can loan out or give you our student loans. And you can basically use our program to get student loans to qualify for that. Okay, so that way you can get your money up front. There's no payment plan or anything like that. You just get your money straight up front. All right. We'll talk more about that in more videos going forward. Again, like and comment if you want me to make a video about that. Then you're going to go ahead and go to the next transitional phase, which is the end process, right? Again, can't speak on this enough. Stay organized and manage entire institution, meaning once you get these kids, once everything's on the roll, let's say you have 2-3 teams, now you become a manager, right? Or if you want to become a head coach on the main team, on the first team, you can do that, but you still have, to manage the rest of the teams. You have to manage your staff. You have to manage the teachers. You got to make sure, report cards are coming to you so you know who's, there at every class, who's, making progress, who's failing what quizzes, things of that nature. You're going to have to manage, making sure the referees are there at every game. You can't have no games without referees. Managing obviously the money, make sure every parent and everybody's paying on time. Um, Things of that nature, right? Managing your staff, managing transportation, making sure everybody gets to the games. If you have far games, making sure that who's driving the bus or driving the van to the games, things of that nature, right? Staying organized is key. I cannot elaborate on this enough. Okay, I've seen prep schools who've they're great at marketing. They market, they get kids. I'm talking about 50, 60 kids in their institution. They're making over $500,000, charging every kid $10,000, and they lose everything in 1 month because they do not know how to manage. They thought they made it. Oh, I got $500,000, $500,000. I don't need to forget these kids. Yeah, you got $500,000, but at the end of the day, you're not taking care of your clientele. You're not managing, these athletes the right way. If something goes on in the middle of the night, and they're calling you and telling you they have no hot water or something's going on, are you managing it? Do you have a team on standby? Just in case, an electrician or a plumber who can get out there and quickly resolve the problem for them. Do you have that? Or are you just going to be like, oh, yeah, just wait till tomorrow? Are you just ignoring and going back to sleep because you have your money? No, you have to cater to these clientele, to these kids. And trust me, if you don't, you will hear it from the parents. The parents will call you. They will blow up your phone. If you don't hire somebody who can manage that, at least a manager at least, to help manage that, and they can call them instead of calling you and waking you up out of your bed at night, trust me, you will hear it. And you will hear parents talking about refund. You will. It gets pretty ugly. So with that being said, make sure that you stay organized, you run your institution smoothly, you understand and you identify pain points, and you listen to your clientele. It's very, very important. I always tell people in this business of owning your own prep school, it's not about the money. It's not the recruiting that's the hardest. It's not even the coaches, X's and O's. It's managing. It's managing egos. It's maintaining the institution at the highest level possible. And if you don't do that, I'm telling you, it will come crumbling down on you. You do not want that. And don't think, oh yeah, I could just do it again next year. No, the word gets around. They will talk bad about you. They will post you on social media. These kids will post it on their stories on Instagram. Hey, don't go to this prep school. This prep school is a scam. There's no exposure. They don't care. The housing was terrible. We did this, we did that. They will tell the truth, and it will get around, especially if you're recruiting locally. If you ruin your name locally or even internationally, everywhere, people will talk. Coaches, opponents, they will talk, and they will talk bad about your institution. So I cannot elaborate enough. Stay organized and manage your institution properly. And again, if you guys need more help on guidance, I have a Facebook group where we have weekly Zoom meetings twice a week where I can give you guys tips and ideas and suggestions to where it can help manage your institution properly. Because I'm telling you, it can get ugly. Okay, so if you need help on that, shoot a comment below, and I'll shoot you the information. Or I'll just leave the information in the comment below this video so you guys can understand. Okay, then the last step here is market athletes to colleges and then restart recruitment. Now, there's the tricky part. Marketing athletes to colleges. Again, in my Facebook group, I have over close to 300 college coaches, active college coaches, right? Some of them, I got them jobs, some of them not. Some of them already had jobs when they came to me, but they're in that group for several reasons, and probably the same reason why you would want to join that group. They come in that group to market. They come in that group to network. They come in that group to recruit kids. They come in that group because they have a prep school and they want to be a part of the weekly Zoom meetings with me twice a week. There's multiple different reasons why they're in that group, but Needless to say, if you join that group and you have a prep school, it's an easy marketing tool to where you can post highlights, post things of that nature, games in that group, and you have access to over maybe 300 college coaches that are watching because they're in that group for whatever reason. So that's an easy way to market athletes to colleges without having to email and things of that nature. And of course, you have your own connections too. So it's just a little helping hand. And after that, you're going to want to restart recruitment. Okay. If you do a good job, like I mentioned before, if you manage well, you treat these athletes well, you have games on time, everything's organized, then you wouldn't really even need to recruit. The word will get around that your institution is one of the greatest, prep schools out there, and your reputation will basically bring in more clientele for that next year. Kids will tell kids, parents will tell parents who were in the same situation as them the year previous, and basically you'll just have kids calling you, trickling in, and everything will just be on autopilot. Oh yeah, I'm a 6'6" kid out of New Jersey, and I was under recruited and I need an opportunity. Can you give me an opportunity, coach? Please. Yeah, I already heard about your school. Your tuition is $9K, $10K. Yeah, my parents are already on board. Boom, boom, boom. Close deal, on to the next. I'm telling you, it's a very smooth process, but the beginning is key. It's essential. Okay. With that being said, that's really it for now. So remember, to start your prep school, create a website, and then go ahead and open a nonprofit bank account. Identify your niche with sport. Are you recruiting in-state, out-of-state? Get your school set up, sign athletes, set up scholarship documents, hire staff, classes, student loans, the end process, stay organized, market athletes to colleges, and then, of course, restart the recruitment process and start it all over again. Okay, simple enough, guys. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Again, leave some comments and let me know what you want to see in upcoming videos and for more information on how to start your own prep school. And I'll make sure to get that to you guys as soon as possible. All right. My name is Martin Flurman. Thanks for watching. Peace. See you later.